Welcome back. We are moving to discuss some more questions based on class 12 informatic practices. So we are moving to the next question. Which method is used to change the label of rows and columns in a data frame? Both the row label or column label that you can change by using which function? That's the question. Which method is used to change the label of rows and columns in data frame? So which function? Rename function that we will use. Rename function that we will use for changing both the row or column name. So that's the function that we will use for changing the label of rows or columns. Then we are moving to the next one. The parameter access equal to index. So whenever you are using access parameter within the rename function, either we will provide 0 or 1. So like the same way we can use access equal to index there. So if you are using access equal to index, what will happen? So which process will be done there? That's they are asking. So for options that they are providing. So which option is correct one? Row and column label is to be changed, column label is to be changed, row label is to be changed, none of the above. Which one is the correct answer? Whenever we are providing index, that means they are trying to change the row label. So option C is the correct answer. Option C, that's the correct answer. Then we are moving to the next question. The following statement will return the column as a dash. So df dot loc. So when you are using dot loc, that's a labeled index or positional index. They are referring the labeled index. So when you are using loc as the first step, we will provide the starting row index and ending row index that we provided as blank here. Then the column name that we specified here. So will return the column as how that will be returned. Is that returned as a series or list or tuple? How that will be returned? As a series, they will return the data. Whenever we are using dot loc and the any of the statements there, they will return a series type data there. So we are going to counter check whether it's worked properly or not, or is that worked on that way, that we are going to counter check here. So here we already declared one data frame with the name df3 and we printed that data frame. I'll show you the data frame. So this one is the data frame that we generated there. So here they provide English as that additional option. That's why they are providing a name value. Within the previous video, I already explained how to provide the column names within the data frame function. So please refer the previous video for understanding why they are providing a NaN value there. Then here we are going to use which function? Dot loc. So within the print function, we are going to use print of within the function bracket we will provide df3, that's a data frame name, dot loc within square bracket we are providing column sign, that means starting and ending row index that we are not providing there. Then we are going to specify the column name. So here the column name, one of the column name that we used to here is chemistry, so that I am passing here, and then I'm closing the print function. So what will happen, that we are going to see. So here you can see that data that's printed, So how that particular data that's printed, what is the type of that we will retrieve by using another statement. I will provide type of this particular data that we are going to retrieve here. So then we can easily identify what is the type of that value. So here you can see the series, let's say series type of value that they are returning after execution. So when you are using dot loc, then colon, then comma, the column name, what will happen? They will return that specific column value. So here they provide the name field. So what will happen? That name data that name column data that will be retrieved, and the type of that particular data is series. Then we are moving to the next question. The following two statements will return dash. So here we are providing df.loc, the name column, then df of name. So if you provide this, what will be the output of this one? So they are providing multiple options here, same output, name column of data frame df, both of the above. So which one will be the correct option? So when you are using .loc comma name, they will print the name column value, and when you are using df of name, the same thing that will be printed there. So which option is the correct one? Then different output, that's the four options that they are providing. So same output for the particular section, same output that will be provided, and name of data frame df, name column of data frame df. So that particular column with the same output that will be printed. So which option is the correct one? Both of the above, both of the above, that's the correct answer. Then we are moving to the next one. That section also I will show you. So if you are providing the print function, along with that if you are using .loc, and instead of using .loc, if you are providing within print function df3 dot, instead of using .loc, we will provide the column name directly there. So what will happen? The same output that we will get. There is not change within the output. So we will counter check whether we got the same output or not. So here you can see the same output that we got. So here you can see chemistry column values that's displayed, the same thing that's displayed again here. So there is no change within that. So exact same output. So with this specific column, the same output that will be printed. So both of the above, that will be the correct answer. And we are moving to the next question. We can use the dash method to merge two data frames. For merging two data frames, which function that we will use? Merge or join or append or drop? For merging two data frames, which function that we will use? We will use which function? We will use append function. That's provided within your NCERT textbook. Please refer that. So you can expect questions from this particular section based on the append function. So for merging two data frames, which function that we will use? Append function. Then we are moving to the next one. We can merge or join only those data frames which have same number of columns. Is it true or false? If you are providing different number of columns, is it possible to merge or join? They are providing true or false option, and if you provide multiple columns there, or not exactly the same number of columns, they will definitely join, but they will provide NaN value there. So we can merge or join only those data frames which have same number of columns. That's false. We can join multiple number of columns if you provide within the data frame. That's also possible. So the option for this false. That statement is false. Then we are moving to the next one. The dash parameter of append method in data frame may be set to true when we do not want to use row index labels. So which argument that you need to specify along with the append function? They are providing four options. From this you need to identify the correct answer. So along with the append function, which attribute or which parameter that you need to specify there within the function, within the append function. So which one will we will use? Ignore underscore index. This one, ignore underscore index, that's the function, that's the parameter that we need to set there. Ignore underscore index, that parameter that we will use there for avoiding the index, row index, when we do not want to use row index labels. So for avoiding the row index label, we will use ignore underscore index, that particular parameter that we will use there. Then we are moving to the next question. Which of the following attribute of data frame is used to display row label? For displaying the raw label, which attribute that we will use for displaying the row label? Row label means row index. So how we will get it? You need to use dot index, not d type or columns. We will use index. So these are the options that they provide. The correct answer is index. Then we are moving to the next question. Which of the following attribute of data frame display the dimension of data frame? So dimension of data frame, how we will retrieve it from a data frame? Shape, size and dimension values. These four options that they are providing, and from this you need to choose the correct answer. So here the correct answer is shape. Shape attribute that you need to use for printing the dimension of data frame. That section that we can find within the NCERT textbook based on class 12. This one, to display the tuple representing the dimension of the data frame. So these particular sections that you need to cover properly based on your NCERT textbook. We can expect questions from that. So dot shape attribute that we will use there. Then which property of data frame is used to check that data frame is empty or not? How we will counter check whether it's empty or not? That's also provided here. That's also part of this particular NCERT textbook, so please refer it. So from the given options, which one is the correct answer? Is empty, then empty, then empty. There is small variation within the uppercase and lowercase. So the correct format is dot empty. So which property of data frame is used to check that data frame is empty or not? So that will be done by using dot empty function, by using dot empty. So how we will do that? That we will do now. Print of df3 dot empty. They will counter check whether it's empty or not by using this attribute. They returned false. The reason is the data frame already contains certain values, so that's not empty. So they returned false there. So like that we can counter check whether it's empty or not. So option C, that's the correct answer. Then we are moving to the next question. Which of the following function is used to load the data from the CSV file into a data frame? So which function that we will use to load the data from the CSV file? Read underscore CSV. That's the function that we will use. For writing and reading, we are using different functions. And the syntax of reading and writing, that also that you need to remember based on the CSV file. So for reading and writing, we are using different pattern. That means for reading, we are using pd.read underscore CSV, and that data that we will assign to a data frame variable. So df1 data frame variable 1 equal to pd.read underscore CSV, then we will pass this section. But when you are reading the writing the data, we will use data frame variable dot to underscore CSV for writing the content to the file. So that difference and the syntax that you need to go through carefully. You can expect questions from that also within the board exam. So please cover that particular sections properly. So we are going to discuss one more question. The default value of SCP parameter is based on the CSV file. You can use SCP separator argument there. So what is the default argument? Default value for SCP parameter. So comma, semicolon, space, none of the above. Which one is the default value within the SCP argument? Whenever we are thinking about the CSV file, normally we will think the default value of SCP is comma, but that's not the answer. Space is the default separator. Space is the default separator. Space, that's the default separator. So these are the questions that we are discussing now. The rest of the questions that we will discuss within the next video. Thank you.